double figures 12 out of the 13 Warhawks games. He averages 17 points per game and then second in assists at 2.3. So he has to have a good game for them to stay in this early.
Brooks Wells, our lead official today. K-State has won 3 in a row. ULM has lost 3 in a row. This is the final non-conference game of the season for Kansas State. ULM, their last 2 games have been in the Sun Belt. A double overtime heartbreaking loss to South Alabama, and then dropped a 76-62 decision on December 20th to Louisiana. So they come in at 3-10.
And they're looking to have a good start here on the road. Hope to knock down some shots early so they feel good about this game.
First one doesn't drop for MJ Russell. K-State in transition, somehow saved by Kamari McGriff. Rapiak in the corner.
And really good drive there by Nate Johnson, finding the open shooter in Rapiak. And he doesn't make a lot of threes, so that's a good start for him.
This is 5th of the season. Nice backdoor cut, and Bashir got airborne and had nowhere to land.
Looks a little bit out of position there for Bashir, but he tried to go up for the block, and unfortunately it's a really nice pump fake to get the Warhawks to the free throw line here.
Lewis, Christian Lewis, a sophomore out of Monroe, Louisiana. Boy, he's been in the zone 6 straight games in double figures and averaging 20 points a game during that stretch. This Warhawks team, they've got some talent on the perimeter, just not any size to go with it inside.
Yeah, not a lot of size inside, and they are a very young team. And so, talking to Coach Cunningham, they're trying to figure some things out, obviously learning to play with each other. And a lot of these guys, it's their first time like Division I basketball. They have a lot of freshmen and some transfers, some guys from overseas, first time playing in America. So it's a new team, and they're trying to figure some things out.
They lost their starting center to an ACL injury before the year even started, and so they've had to adjust some things on the interior. Good look, but unable to handle it was Brodnax. Loose ball in the backcourt, and this will be a over and back violation as we look at some keys for the game.
Yeah, and so for the Warhawks, the keys for them, they have to control the tempo. They want to make sure that they slow this game down, keep Kansas State in the half court, and they have to contain Haggerty. That's going to be a tough job, but that's something they have to do and keep him in the half court. And for Kansas State, it's all about transition offense. Their defense can create some opportunities. They like to get out in fast break, score the ball early and often, and then more than Haggerty. You want to see multiple guys step up and score. They've been doing a really good job of that here late, and if they can have multiple guys in double figures, that'll be really good for them.
A rare miss on the inside from McGriff, who's better than 70% on the year. And a foul on a 3. This will put Lavelle Brodnax to the free throw line.
Offensive rebound spot.
It's 2 out of 3, and ULM has the 1-point lead. Rapiak, the mid-range hook, short, and rebounded by ULM. Here comes Lewis, the point guard. Scoring point guard as he averages better than 15 a game. Russell and the Brodnax. Tough finish for Lavelle Brodnax.
A really good find there by MJ Russell, finding Brodnax underneath to go finish. But as you see, the transition here, Kansas State, even off of a made basket, pushing it early and getting an easy layup. And for the Warhawks, that's something you cannot allow them to do.
Rapiak has all 5 for K-State. Did not score in the last one against South Dakota. Good closeout by Bashir. This is Malafeev, freshman from Moscow, Russia. Little floater from the free throw line.
A really good job there, just kind of lulling the defensive sleep. The shot clock was winding down, and he's able to get into the paint and shoot a really nice floater, and really good tempo there that the Warhawks want to see.
Haggerty left it short, rebounded by Raynar Sandurs, a sophomore from Latvia. Deep 3 drops for MJ Russell, and ULM leads by 6. 29th triple of the season for MJ Russell. 5th leading scorer in the Sun Belt. Bashir
That's only Albie Bashir's 7th two-point field goal made on the year, so we don't see a lot of those, but really good job creating some separation to get to his shot. And for Kansas State here on defense, you got to get some stops here before you get some subs in the 4-minute mark here. So 1 attempts on the season coming into this game, which is top 50 in the country. So at his size, he is really aggressive. Kind of reminds you of, how P.J. Haggerty plays for Kansas State. Just really aggressive, getting to the rim, getting fouled to put himself in opportunities to knock down free throws.
Coach Cunningham says he's really a microcosm of our entire roster. Talented, but really young. As ULM flashes his zone at K-State.
And they don't play a lot of zone, so Coach Cunningham must see something that he likes to put them in a zone on this possession.
Offensive board for Rapiak and out to Bashir.
Well, there's a zone and there's zone busters, and Bashir is a zone buster, so you cannot allow him to get open shots. Does a good job just spotting up and knocking it in.
Nice find by Rapiak after the offensive rebound. So K-State back within 1. Wide open 3, won't drop for Hartman, Kashimak Hartman, a freshman for Poland. Johnson, deep 3, no. Another offensive rebound. Haggerty lines one up. And that's ripped down by ULM's M.J. Russell.
And 2 deep threes there by Kansas State. Both were wide open, but might be able to get a little bit easier shot than the deep NBA threes right now in the game. It's 16 to 15.
Sondors had it stripped from behind on Lewis.
Well, Lewis is trying to use his body to get into Haggerty so he can get to his spot. And he kind of did this on Castillo early on and made the shot. And this one, they call him for the push-off. He's just trying to create some space so he can get to his spot, and got his arm extended. And the ref's going to call that every time the arm really extends out.
Second on Lewis. So both Lewis for ULM and Bashir for K-State with 2 early fouls. Johnson dumped inside to Rapiak. Back to Johnson. He explodes to the rim and an offensive foul.
The team to make winning plays night in, night out. That's a winning play by M.J. Russell.
ULM.
I'll tell you what, there's not many players where they shoot the ball better from the outside than they do from 2, but Albie Bashir is one of them. As we mentioned, he shoots 49 from 3 and actually only shoots 26% from 2. So most of his shots are threes, and when he's knocking them in, it makes it easier for the entire K-State offense.
Rapiak with the reach in, forces the turnover, and now stolen back from behind. Diaz strips it away from Haggerty. See Haggerty denied in transition very often, but a nice play there as Brodnetz drops in to fade away.
Yeah, it's really good defensive transition, and then that got them the easy shot on the other end as Brodnetz is able to knock it in. And like I said, the Warhawks right now, they are playing harder than Kansas State. And so for Kansas State, you want to see a little bit more. You got to pick it up and play a little bit harder. You got to get this guy to continue to make shots, get him the ball. He's obviously knocked down 2 now, and Albie Bashir. And so you can find him, especially when the Warhawks go zone, he will be able to break that zone out.
8 already for Abdi Bashir, and we are tied at 18. Brodnetz, another tough fadeaway, and he's cooking early. He's got 8 to match Bashir.
Well, he really just took his time there. Kind of a similar shot that he just had a few moments ago, and now he's out in transition as Kansas State does not get back, which leads to the open dunk for Brodnetz.
Brodnetz with the throwdown, and he's in double figures. He's been over 20 in 3 of the last 5 games and headed there again today. Haggerty. Air ball from Haggerty from the top. Haggerty yet to score here in the first 10 minutes. Diaz. That goes up and up.
Job of getting back, not allowing them to get easy points, but great job by Brodnetz here, just knocking down shots in the middle of the lane and then getting out in transition and finishing at the rim.
Bashir, not this time. Inside the lane, Buka with the rebound, and he's fouled.
And that's what Doreen Buka can bring to this team on the offensive.
Blocking shots at the other end of the floor. Got the second one, and K-State down 22-19 midway through the first, and some backcourt pressure from the Cats.
Well, Kansas State just trying to mix it up, right? They're trying to get some momentum here and trying to mix it up a little bit. Hopefully that'll kickstart them defensively to get some stops, which will then obviously propel the offense as well.
Wiggy ball guarded by P.J. Haggerty in a foul. Nearly thrown away. K-State wanted to run after the miss. Now they'll have to set it up against this zone. High screen from Manning. Bashir from the wing leaves this one short, and there's Broadnex. Averages about 10 rebounds a game with the weak side board. MJ Russell, baseline drive, stolen away. Haggerty trying to split two defenders, and Broadnex comes up with a transition, and a foul on Bashir will be his third.
Yeah, and that's big, you know.
And he's third in the Big 12 in steals. Gets both here, his first two, and K-State has its biggest lead at 5. Diaz, their best shooter, front rim on the 3. McGriff with the rebound. Haggerty looking to get involved. Didn't have anywhere to go on the drive. Now on the cut, left hand is fouled.
Yeah, and Haggerty without the basketball, and like I said, he's really patient. I mean, and so he takes his time. He's not forcing shots, even though he hasn't scored. Expect him to make one or maybe both of these here. This is the first, but he's a guy that, as we know, can get going really quickly. And so for him, he just needs to see the ball go through, and then you might see him step up his game here.
Yeah, he's for a guy who averages 23 a game, he definitely lets the game come to him, at least at the offensive end. Gets the second free throw, his first point of the day. There's the top 4 scorers in the country. A.J. Devanza and BYU will be here on Saturday. And there's the turnover.
12-2, right? Well, I love the Big 12, so Texas Tech, I'm watching them, hoping they can make the run as well.
Yeah, Indiana has been so much fun to watch this year. 4 great games coming your way, starting New Year's Eve. Here's Haggerty. Rapiak, who had the 5 early points, bounced inside to McGriff. What a look from Rapiak. K-State's got 12 baskets and 12 assists.
Yeah, they're really sharing the basketball on the offensive end, which has been really nice. You know, Rapiak does a good job just taking his time to find Kamari McGriff.
2 alley-oops from Manning to Buka. But ULM hanging around, down 6 as we approach the 3-minute mark, and the Warhawks will stay in the zone.
And Kansas State runs a lob play, which wasn't there, but this is where they've been really effective, is getting the ball in the middle of the zone and then finding Buka underneath or Kamari McGriff underneath or kicking it back out for a 3.
Tipped in by McGriff as he gets to the offensive glass. Back-to-back buckets from Kamari McGriff.
Well, when you get the ball in the middle of the zone, the defense kind of collapses there, and then Kamari McGriff just uses his size to position himself for the offensive rebound. And so every single time down, Kansas State needs to hit the middle of the zone and then make the read out of there.
Broadnex up over the top of McGriff. He just finds a way to score. 15 now for Broadnex. Haggerty with the floater. No, Rapiak fights for the rebound, but ripped away by M.J. Russell.
It was a good look there by Haggerty. Just couldn't get it to go down, but that's a shot that he would love to take every single time down.
Diaz following his own miss. Now just threw it up, and then finally into the hands of Haggerty.
To try to keep them in this game here in this first half.
They try the lob again. They get it in the...
Gets to know the zone. So for Kansas State, it has to go there every single time down that they're in the zone.
And Coach Cunningham told us yesterday they don't really have a second defense. They've played almost all man all season long. So this 2-3 zone, this probably isn't anything they've practiced a whole lot. They're just kind of throwing it out there to try and slow K-State down today.
Right, just trying to give them a different look and, like I said, slow down the tempo of the offense and make Kansas State use some of the clock before the shot goes up. And, it's done a little bit of that obviously early on, but Kansas State seems to be finding a rhythm now with the inside out and moving the basketball, knocking shots down from the outside, but then also the lobs at the rim.
Johnson, his first triple of the afternoon, came in shooting 43% from beyond the arc as Hartman misses. Zone slowed K-State down for a little bit, but now you look up on the scoreboard, they still got 44 points in the half as Haggerty lost it going to the rim.
And Haggerty's had a few of those now in transition. I think it's his third that he's kind of lost in transition, so you'd like to see him clean that up so he can go score the basketball or find open guys as they're running the floor.
Haggerty this time on the kick out to Kostic. Offensive board for PJ. Oh, he's had a couple of those go halfway down and pop back out. Tough shooting day for Haggerty, who hit his first 8 shots in the last game against South Dakota. Not here today. Elias Rapiak has 5 assists in the first half. About a 6-second differential here. K-State will go ahead and run it down a little bit. On the backdoor cut, Castillo with the catch and finish.
The man and be able to score the basketball as well. So we'll kind of see what the adjustments are made after halftime. But here Kansas State wants to apply some pressure, try to get a stop, get an easy turnover. So they can
get to the deck, and he gets the ball run to finally take the lead and see what they do with this last shot here. Looked for the lob, it wasn't there. Castillo with 5 to shoot, puts it on the deck, fade away is short. That Coach Tang had 1 point from Haggerty in mind in the first half. We'll see if he can get it going here in the second 20 minutes. Haggerty just 1 point, 0 of 6 shooting in that first half. There's Bashir, and he remains hot.
Well, you see Kansas State came out in the first play. They kind of run some action for Bashir coming off of that handoff to get the open shot. And it's a really good job getting him going early because he's one guy that we've seen has already made shots early on in the game.
Third triple of the day, now 49 on the season as McGriff sends that one right back in the face of Lewis. Haggerty with the step.
PJ Haggerty in transition is where he is at his best. We've seen he's turned it over a few times today, but quite normally he is hard to stop in transition. And he gets to the free throw line at a high clip there.
Just looking at some of Haggerty's stats. He has 5 games with at least 9 2-point buckets. Like, that's hard to do as a guard. I mean, you never see anything like that anymore, but he's got such a crafty game, although we haven't seen much of the scoring part of it here today.
Well, here's one thing about PJ Haggerty in this Kansas State offense is you look at their guards and they shoot the basketball really well from the outside, but out of all their guards, Bashir, Haggerty, Johnson, Castillo, Haggerty actually shoots the least amount of threes out of all of them. So that tells you how he scores the basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. Broadneck stays hot. He's got 18. ULM and a man, and Haggerty score it in the foul. But you get away from the zone.
Have to be aggressive. I'm sure up to his standards, he knows I didn't play as well as I should have the first half, so I need to go out there and play well the second half. And here early on, he's gotten to the free throw line already twice now. It's his 3rd free throw attempt, but he's aggressive getting to the rim.
Biggest lead with Haggerty getting untracked with 5 quick points for Haggerty to begin this second half. Broadnex and Lewis. Here's Lewis at 30 of the 39 for ULM. Transition 3, Johnson, and K-State roars out to begin this second half.
Well, and that's just a step-in 3 for Nate Johnson, trailing the play. PJ Haggerty takes his time, pushes the tempo, and then finds Nate Johnson. So Kansas State has already started this second half playing at a faster pace, getting out in transition, which is leading to really good shots offensively.
11 points in 2 minutes to begin the half for the Wildcats.
Well, do you think Coach Tang maybe said something to his team at halftime? Because they've come out with a lot of aggression here. Even on the defensive end, I think it looks like they're doing a little bit better job just trying to get stops to lead them into transition.
Raynar Sanders hits from the corner. Haggerty, the crossover, and the left hand. Haggerty cooking now in the second half.
And he's so crafty with the basketball, rejects the ball screen, which allows him to get to the lane and score the basketball. And here he is defensively getting out of transition. So he has started this second half like we know he can, and he can turn it on quickly, and that's what he's doing right now.
Haggerty's got 9 points in 2.5 minutes in the second half. Nice finish over the top, Raynar Sanders.
And Sanders has come out really aggressive this second half for Coach Cunningham's team.
Johnson, this one short. McGriff trying to keep it alive. Rapia got it. K-State, and they'll say he was out of bounds.
And so being active defensively puts him in transition to get the easy basket as well. So you like to see the way he is playing here in the second half.
Runner off the glass won't drop for Malafi. 3-on-2 break, K-State. Bashir launches. Well, you're surprised when he misses.
I mean, if he makes it at 49%, 50%, then every other one, but I feel like he might have missed it.
The power 4 level, you see the mid-major guys coming up. Well, it kind of worked in reverse for him. He was at the power 4 level and didn't play much, but he's having success here at the Sun Belt.
Yeah, he is, and we didn't talk about this, but there's a guy on the staff for Coach Cunningham named Franklin Miskelly, who actually was at Kansas State the last 2 years and now is assistant coach for Coach Cunningham, and he had some ties to MJ Russell while he was at Mississippi State early on in his career. So he was able to get MJ Russell to this team, and you see he's playing really well and doing everything they thought he could do.
And more Taj Manning, career high 8 points with that finish with the left hand. And the turnover will give it back to
his care factor. He really cares about his teammates. He cares about winning. He cares about becoming a better player. He said from the outside looking in, you can see he's a great player. He's been a great player wherever he's gone when he was at Memphis, but you never really know how invested someone is going to be until they get into your program, and he continued to say that it's been impressive that he can win wherever he goes.
Yeah, thanks, Sophie, as K-State tries the lob again to Buka, and this time they had to hold him back. Foul will give K-State the basketball underneath. Haggerty into Manning. Nice ball fake from Haggerty. So far this year was 82% a year ago at Memphis. First one is good. This is the final non-conference game for K-State as they get ready for BYU. Number 10 Cougars coming to town on Saturday with A.J. Devanza.
That's going to be a fun matchup to watch.
And then no bargain. You go on the road to play number 1 Arizona. So K-State with 2 top 10 matchups to begin Big 12 conference play.
So what you're saying is you play BYU and then it doesn't get any easier from there.
Ishamil. Bamishala misses. K-State throws it away, looking for the fast break. All alone in the corner. The 3 is good for Malafi.
Malafi just spots up in the corner off of the transition turnover, but here's PJ Haggerty once again kind of rejecting the ball screen with a crossover and getting to the rim and finishing, maybe even through a little bit of contact there.
13 in the second half for Haggerty.
Set a good screen there, and so moving a little bit, Haggerty went a little bit too early and foul was called.
Third on Kamari. Russell lost the handle, but out of bounds off of Kansas State. Warhawks lost by 21 at Ole Miss and by 25 at Miami. Their two Power 4 road games so far. Lewis got fouled.
What he hopes to see is they just continue to get better as they move into the Sun Belt Conference, and that's the point where they want to be playing their best basketball. And so this game for them today, you know, they got up early, had to weather some storm, and they're trying to weather the storm now and fight back. And so I'm sure he's happy with the effort that he's seen his team play with tonight.
For some more on ULM, let's check in with Sophie.
Thanks, Ben. Coach Cunningham said that he's not even thought about getting to March because they're so focused on the day-to-day right now. They're really focusing on trying to establish how they want to build their program and the culture right now. He told us yesterday that this group has had the highest team GP.
PJ Haggerty kind of pick it back up again to put Kansas State in some good opportunities offensively, but you have to score the basketball, continue to score it, and you have to defend to finish out this game.
McGriff.
ULM in the bonus right now.
ULM on a 9-1 run, and they're back within 8. Haggerty fights his way to the rim, got it back, and a jump.
Up high and not committing the foul.
Russell Manning with the wall up at this end for K-State. K-State could use a bucket to calm some nerves here.
For sure, and here we go, PJ Haggerty off the ball screen, getting fouled. And you know, Kansas State so far this second half, they've been at their best in two different situations, whether that's in transition because they got a defensive stop, or it's been PJ Haggerty off of the ball screen, and he's rejected the ball screen multiple times. There he comes off of the ball screen, but that's kind of been their best offense this second half. So if they're Kansas State, try to rely on what's been working, right? And what's been working is you got to get out in transition or use Haggerty in the ball screen and play out of that.
Haggerty will get a break here. Before that, the day the net first came out was the day K-State played Bowling Green, and K-State was 55. Then they lost to Bowling Green and then tacked on another loss after that against Seton Hall. They dropped all the way to 100, but they've now fought their way back to 53. A large part thank you to Creighton and that road win and the way Creighton's played since then. Johnson, a big shot to push the lead back to 10.
Yeah, really good play there by Coach Tang, getting a flare screen for Johnson to get the open shot. But as you mentioned, I mean, when it comes to the rankings, you know, you can have a loss or a couple bad losses, which can drop you really quickly. But then you can have a couple really good wins, which can move you up really quickly, and that's what you've seen with Kansas State.
Well, you and I did that Tulsa game. K-State getting the late win there, coming from behind against Tulsa. Tulsa hasn't lost since. That's their only loss of the year, so that potentially could look like a quality win come into the season too. Yeah,
Coach Conkel's team is playing really well, as you mentioned, and it's fun to see how they're playing after this game and continue to get wins as they're heading into conference play.
Steele and the finish at the other end for Diaz, and the lead's down to 6. First two for Dylan Diaz. Steele looks for the high screen. Rapia, the lob too short.
this is a big possession for both teams. Until the Warhawks here, and Saunders, so if he knocks down this shot, the offensive rebound, they're down 4. And this is putting a lot of pressure on Kansas State. Expect a timeout here for Coach King so he can talk to his team about how they want to finish this basketball game.
22-6 run.
23 from the free throw line, and then he's knocked down a few shots from the outside and then getting to a couple pull-ups as well. His season high right now is 28, and so he's close, 29, and so he's close to getting that as well. So he's trying to will this Warhawks team to victory here in the second half.
He's been averaging over the last 7 games better than 20 a game, and he's going to help that number here today. Haggerty with a strong take.
Much needed basket because Kansas State needs some energy, right? They have to score the basketball here late, get a couple stops to bring that energy to try to close out this basketball game. It's so much needed for Kansas State.
18 in the second half for Haggerty, but now the Cats need to string together some defensive stops. Johnson on Lewis. Not mentioned Lewis has been at the free throw line 13 times. His 3 rattles away. Castillo. Nice ball fake. He spins it in with the left hand.
And Kansas State has come out and drove the basketball twice aggressively to the rim by their 2 smallest guards, able to finish at the rim. And so 2 big baskets for Kansas State to push this lead back out to 9.
Isolation this time for Russell, and the 3 rattles around, hits the backboard, and drops.
Sometimes you need a little bit of luck, and then that might have been a little bit of luck in Russell's favor, but nice job making the shot.
Haggerty gets the whistle and count it.
Now for Kansas State, and so he's going to have to go win this basketball game for the Wildcats.
Lead back to 9. Well, Haggerty's, there's going to be a bunch of close games in Big 12 play, and he's going to be the one with the ball in his hands down the stretch. Whistle before the shot, foul.
You know what he's going to bring night in, night out, and so you can, those kind of guys, you can kind of hold them down for a little bit, but you can't hold them down for the entire game. And as you see here in the second half, he's really picked it up and has turned that on. As you see the Warhawks now go back to this zone, and Kansas State hits the middle of the zone and finds the layup underneath the repeat.
About the 4th time they've done that in the middle of the zone. Several alley-oops in the first half, and an easy layup right there. Lead is back to 9. Lewis kept his balance, got the layup to go.
We saw no help side defense there by the Wildcats to help on the drive, which allowed Lewis to get to the rim.
Rapiak gets free again, and an easy layup.
And very similar to what we saw on the other end of the floor. There's no help side there for the Warhawks, and so off the ball screen with David Castillo and Rapiak, he's able to hit Rapiak on the roll for the easy layup.
Diaz, good shooter, knocks down the 3. ULM still within striking distance as the 3 cuts it to 6. Haggerty, pull up, free throw line, no, and Brodnick's there to clear the glass. Brodnick's attacks on Bashir.
Playing really freely, and you can see Kansas State is starting to tighten up a little bit. So for the Wildcats, this next possession is going to be very big for them.
Brodnick's missed it, tried to get it back from Castillo, so it remains a 2-possession game. Wildcats with 4 guards and Rapiak on the floor for this possession as we reach the 3-minute mark. Weave up high, Johnson left alone. Possession as we reach the 3-minute mark. Weave up high, Johnson left alone, triggers for 3, bang! Nate Johnson with a dagger from the top.
And a little bit of weave action there, and Brodnick's kind of just stayed in the paint and allowed Nate Johnson to take the wide open shot, which he's able to knock down.
Russell looking for a driving angle on Haggerty, not there. Brodnick's off to Diaz from 10. And rebounded by Haggerty. He looks down the floor, finds Castillo for the layup.
Defensive stops leads to offensive transition, and PJ Haggerty getting the ball there, looking ahead to David Castillo for the finish, and K-State pushed the lead back out to 9.
Layup missed. Sondor's got it back, and a foul on K-State. And ULM will shoot free throws 31 and 32 of the afternoon.
Saunders does a good job just using his size. Sees he has the size advantage against Bashir and obviously Haggerty down there, and able to just get the ball in the glass, get the offensive rebound, and get the foul call. But like I said, good job of the Warhawks recognizing that he had the mismatch inside.
First one drops for Raynar Sondors. One of just 3 returning players from last year's roster. Rapiak runs it down barely. And K-State has it up 8 inside 2 minutes. Diaz poked it away.
To stop here, you don't want to go down by 10 or more, right? And so you really need to get a stop here, push the ball in transition, try to get an early one with either Broadneck's downhill or Lewis getting to the rim to try to get back in this game here.
Both teams in the double bonus. Castillo, 3 from the corner. Rebound into the hand of Sondors. Good look from Castillo. And the lead remains at 8. Broadneck gets the bump from Ripon. They have been there 34 times today. Castillo trapped. Bounces to McGriff. And he finds Haggerty.
Good cut there by PJ Haggerty once the ball got to McGriff in the corner to get to the rim and finish. And the Warhawks really need a bucket here on this possession.
Broadnex will take it. Another tough shot. This one won't fall. Haggerty yanks down the rebound. And the K-State Wildcats will look to run some clock with a 9-point lead. Bashir tried to deliver the dagger. It wasn't there. He'll try again. No. Rebound to McGriff. Castillo 0 for 3 from 3. And the lead is 9 as here comes Lewis. Deep 3, Russell. Rimmed out, and Johnson will dribble it out.
And Coach Tang doesn't look too happy about some of those shots that Kansas State had there, but like I said, they're able to pull out the win here. And a tough matchup. Coach Cunningham had his team ready, and they came in and fought really hard.
Haggerty had 1 at the half.